In a small village nestled between the forest and the farmlands, there lived two sisters who were as different as night and day. One sister had a heart of gold. The other had a heart of stone. And on the day they found the talking skull in the forbidden forest, their true natures would be revealed in the most terrifying way possible. This is not a story for the faint of heart. This is a story about greed, about choices, and about the price we pay when we ignore warnings from the spirit world. Amara was the elder sister. She was beautiful, yes, but her beauty was cold like a river stone. She walked through the village with her head held high, looking down on everyone she passed. She wanted the finest clothes, the most expensive jewelry, the biggest house. Nothing was ever enough for Amara. Why should I settle for less, she would say. I deserve the best of everything. Zara, the younger sister, was different. She was kind and gentle, always helping the elderly carry their loads, always sharing what little she had with those who had even less. While Amara chased after wealth and status, Zara found joy in simple things, a child's laughter, a beautiful sunrise, the songs of birds in the morning. The two sisters lived together in their parents' compound, but they might as well have lived in different worlds. Amara resented Zara's contentment. You're a fool, she would snap at her younger sister. You could have so much more if you just stopped being so soft. But Zara would only smile. I have enough, sister. I am happy. This infuriated Amara even more. One day, their mother fell ill. She needed a special herb that only grew deep in the forest, past the old burial grounds, in a place where the elders said the spirits still walked. No one from the village dared go there anymore. But the medicine woman was clear, without this herb, your mother will not survive the week. Zara did not hesitate. I will go, she said immediately. Mother needs this herb. I will find it. Amara, of course, had a different motivation. She had heard stories, whispers really, that the old forest held treasures. Ancient gold and jewels buried with the chiefs of old. If she was going into that cursed forest anyway, she might as well look for something valuable. I'll come with you, Amara announced, though everyone knew it wasn't out of concern for their mother. And so, at dawn, the two sisters set out into the forest. The forest was darker than any place they had ever been. Ancient trees blocked out the sun, their branches twisted like arthritic fingers reaching toward the sky. The air was thick and heavy, filled with strange sounds, whispers that weren't quite words, footsteps that weren't quite there. Zara walked carefully, respectfully, whispering prayers to the ancestors as she searched for the healing herb. But Amara's eyes darted everywhere, looking for anything of value. She kicked at old bones, poked at ancient grave markers, and showed no reverence for the sacred ground beneath her feet. Sister, please, Zara pleaded. This is a holy place. Show some respect. Respect doesn't fill your stomach or put gold on your neck, Amara sneered. They walked deeper and deeper until they came to a clearing. There, beneath an ancient baobab tree, half buried in the dirt and leaves, was a human skull. But this was no ordinary skull. As they approached, the skull's jaw moved. And it spoke. Who dares disturb my rest? The voice was hollow, echoing, like wind through an empty cave. Both sisters froze in terror. Zara immediately dropped to her knees in respect. Forgive us, honored ancestor. We meant no disrespect. We came only to find medicine for our sick mother. The skull's empty eye sockets seemed to stare at her, considering. Then it spoke again, this time softer. A daughter who seeks to heal her mother, there is honor in this. You may take what you need. But know this, I can grant you one wish, and one wish only. Choose wisely, for greed has consequences that echo through eternity. Zara's heart raced. A wish. She could wish for anything, wealth, beauty, power. But she thought of her mother, weak and suffering at home. She thought of her village, where many struggled with hunger. She thought carefully. Honored ancestor, she said humbly, I wish for my mother to be healed and for her to live a long, healthy life. The skull was silent for a moment. Then it spoke with what might have been approval. A selfless wish. Your mother will wake tomorrow at dawn, healed and strong. Go now. Take your herb and leave this place. And remember, never return to this forest with greed in your heart. Zara bowed deeply, gathered the healing herb she needed, and turned to leave. But Amara had other ideas. As Zara walked away, Amara stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with avarice. If this skull could heal their mother with just a wish, imagine what else it could do. Wait. Amara called out. What about me? Don't I get a wish too? The skull turned its hollow gaze toward her. Each person receives one wish. Your sister has used hers wisely. You must wait for another time, another place. No. Amara's voice rose with anger. That's not fair. She wasted her wish on something that would have happened anyway. I deserve a wish too. I deserve wealth, gold, jewels, everything I've always wanted. Sister, please, Zara begged from the edge of the clearing. Let's just go home. Mother will be healed. That's all that matters. But Amara wasn't listening. She fell to her knees before the skull, not in respect, but in desperate pleading. Please. Just one wish. I'll do anything. I need to be rich. I need to be the wealthiest woman in our village, no, in our entire kingdom. The skull's voice grew cold. Greed speaks through your mouth, daughter of man. I warned your sister that greed has consequences. Do you truly wish to test the truth of those words? Yes. Yes. I don't care about warnings. Just give me what I deserve. There was a long, terrible silence. Even the forest seemed to hold its breath. Then the skull spoke, and its voice carried the weight of ancient judgment. So be it. You shall have your wish. You will become the richest woman in your land. But remember this moment when you count your gold. Remember that you were warned. Suddenly, the ground beneath Amara began to glow with an eerie green light. She gasped as she felt power surge through her body. Images flashed through her mind, mountains of gold, chests overflowing with jewels, compounds filled with servants, robes of the finest silk. Yes, she screamed with joy. Yes. I can see it all. I'm rich. I'm finally rich. She laughed maniacally, dancing in the clearing as Zara watched with growing horror. There was something wrong. Something terribly wrong. The light around Amara was getting brighter, but it was a sickly, unnatural color. And her laughter, it was changing, becoming shrill, inhuman. Sister. Zara cried out. Something's wrong. We need to leave now. But Amara couldn't hear her anymore. She was lost in visions of wealth, drowning in her greed. The skull spoke one final time, wealth you wanted. Wealth you shall have. But riches of the earth mean nothing to those who dwell beneath it. Welcome, sister, to your new kingdom. And then, before Zara's horrified eyes, Amara began to sink into the ground. What's happening? Amara's laughter turned to screams. What are you doing to me? She tried to run, but her feet were already disappearing into the earth. She clawed at the ground, at the tree roots, at anything she could reach, but the soil pulled her down like quicksand. Help me. Zara, help me. Zara ran forward, grabbing her sister's hands, pulling with all her strength. But it was like trying to stop a river with her bare hands. The earth wanted Amara, and the earth would have her. I'm sorry. Amara sobbed, finally understanding. I'm sorry. I was greedy. I was foolish. Please, please don't let me go. But the skull's magic was not to be undone. Down, down, down Amara sank, past her knees, past her waist, past her chest. Tell mother I'm sorry, she cried out as the earth reached her shoulders. Tell her I. And then she was gone. Swallowed completely by the earth. The ground closed over her as if she had never existed. Zara collapsed, weeping, her hands still grasping empty air where her sister had been just moments before. The skull spoke one last time, its voice almost sad. She is not dead, daughter of compassion. She lives in the kingdom beneath, the kingdom of the dead, where gold is dirt and jewels are stones. She wanted to be the richest in the land. Now she dwells in the only land where riches have no meaning. This is what happens when greed blinds the soul to wisdom. Zara stumbled home, alone, carrying the healing herb and a heart heavy with grief. When she arrived, the villagers gathered around her, asking where Amara was. She is gone, Zara whispered. Taken by the forest. Taken by her own greed. True to the skull's word, their mother woke at dawn the next morning, completely healed, as if she had never been sick at all. But the joy of her recovery was shadowed by the loss of Amara. The elders nodded sadly when they heard the story. The ancestors warn us for a reason, the oldest among them said. The spirits test us, and those who fail pay the price. Your sister wanted to be the richest woman in the land. In a way, her wish was granted, for in the kingdom of the dead, where she now dwells, all the gold and jewels of the earth surround her. But none of it matters anymore. From that day forward, Zara lived a simple life. She never returned to that forest. She never wished for more than what she had. And when people asked her about wealth and riches, she would tell them her sister's story. Greed promises everything but delivers only emptiness, she would say. My sister chased after gold and found only darkness. I asked for life and received love. That is the difference between wisdom and foolishness. And sometimes, on quiet nights when the wind blew through the village, people swore they could hear a voice crying from deep beneath the earth, a voice that sounded like Amara, surrounded by all the riches she ever wanted, but unable to enjoy any of it. For what good is gold when you dwell in darkness? What value have jewels when you're trapped in the kingdom of the dead? What use is wealth when you've lost everything that truly matters? This is why the elders say, be careful what you wish for. This is why they warn, greed is a hungry spirit that devours those who feed it. And this is why, even today, people leave offerings at the edge of the forbidden forest, not for Amara, but as a reminder. A reminder that the greatest wealth is not what we own, but who we love. Not what we possess, but who we are. And that sometimes, the most dangerous place in the world is not a dark forest or an ancient burial ground. It's the darkness that lives in a greedy heart.